Speaking of inflation, here's the sources of inflation right now. So you can see the only thing that's deflationary is clothing and footwear. Thank goodness, because I have to change my wardrobe. I got so big. But everything else is adding to inflation. And the big one, education. That's the great thing about being older. The kids are all gone through that. Don't have to pay for that one. Imagine if you're young and that's what you're looking at. It's getting out of hand, education, out of hand. And they're not coming back smarter. And now you don't have to send your kids to school anymore. You just give them a chatbot app, whatever. GPT chatbot, is that what they call it? There you go. They can get a job with that, apparently. But if you look at this is what worries me about this budget. Now, they're saying it's an inflation-fighting budget. They're restrained. We didn't spend money. But did they really? I don't know. Number one, they've committed to wage growth without productivity. So that's inflationary right off the cuff. And they're talking about 4 to 6% wage growth without productivity gains. Not linked at all. So that's extra cost, which is extra inflation. Then they want to do, government spending. They're saying that it's contained because it's only a couple of percent real growth, but real growth on top of 6% inflation is 8% spending growth. And they're taking up the labour market, so they're paying people more than I can afford. I'm competing with them. If you're in the IT industry, how do I get staff when the government's going to do $2 billion worth of IT projects? Can't do it. How can I get a cleaner when the NDIS is paying them $60 an hour to go clean someone's house? Can't do it. It's just crazy. The government is killing us in the labour market, and they don't recognise that. They think, oh no, we're paying fair and reasonable. No, you're paying well over the odds for the task at hand. And they have to pull that back at some stage, but they won't. Now, if you look, hospitality, food and alcoholics, one of the things that's keeping them afloat is students are allowed to work, and during COVID, even though most of them left, they had it so they could work unlimited hours, where before there was a cap, but that cap's coming back. So if I'm a small business owner, getting some, reasonable cost labour from students, that's now going to contract. So that's going to put problems in the market. If you look at tobacco, that's going to go up. They're adding tobacco tax of significant proportion. Now, I can't afford to smoke anymore. I don't know how anyone can. But apparently most of the people I know that are on unemployment benefits, they can. But, but you look at housing, they're now going to give that rent assistance. That's going to be inflationary. It's going to go straight to the landlord. He's going to go, hey, I saw the budget. I saw you get $30 a week extra. If you want to stay in my house, we better renegotiate. How long do you think it's going to take for that to happen? Probably already did, right? There's no new supply measures, as I say, so there's no choice. You either pay that extra money or you have to get out and move to a compromise. If you look at health, aged care is getting a 15% pay rise. How's that not inflationary? And wait till you see the ripple effect in the other industries. And they've put gas tax up. And I don't know about you, but do you remember a couple of months ago, about a year ago, they said, oil prices have gone up because there's a war in Ukraine. You remember that? Did the war in Ukraine stop? I haven't heard lately. I didn't check the news. But oil prices are cheap now. They're at one of the lowest they've been for ages. But in Australia, when I go to the Bowser, it's still the same price as it was last year. I don't know how that works. I'm really confused. If someone can explain that one to me. So there's still pressure there, because if we have another uptick of oil prices, even a small amount, that's going to be inflationary. It's theoretically been deflationary, but we'll see what happens. But all of these things are hurting inflation. So I worry about this budget as not being an inflation containment device, but it might be expansionary.